Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESFL Network. Today we have a treat for you. It is the 8th 80X Muay Thai tournament, and calling it today is none other than the man, the myth, the legend, Robin Black. Robin, how are we doing today?
Dude, so good. Yesterday was a blast, ESFL, the numbered card. But I'm here today because you invited me, and I'm super stoked to do this with you, man.
Truly is an honor and a pleasure. Robin, doing so much for the esports community. This UFC 4 scene has loved you, and we look forward to bringing you what is sure to be an incredible event. We've had 7 of these before. We know how it rolls, but to run through the rules for you really quickly, just heard from that, a little bit of a delay in the fight, but that gives us more time to talk a little bit. Now, there is a 3 knockdown rule in place. After the 3rd knockdown, the player that was knocked down must bow, taunt, and receive a flash KO. This is a CAF event. Players will choose a preset archetype that best matches their play style. Robin, to run you through the numbers on those specific disciplines, we've got 3 boxer classes, Boxer Powerhouse, Pressure, and Showboat, and 2 kickboxing classes, Sniper and Razor. Clinches, trips, throws are permitted, but following it to the ground is not. Now, the quarterfinals and semifinals are singular matches. The final, Robin, is a best of 3.
Okay, all right. So what that means is, let me get this straight. We're going to see tons of fighting.
Oh.
And like we figured out the other day, this is fighting. This is neurological combat. It is, as far as the brain is concerned, it is the same process as physical fighting, only without the physical nature. The physical is in the hands and in the eyes instead of in the fists and in the feet.
The hand-eye coordination is absolutely still there, but flowing through the sticks and the pads of the controller. And it's such an interesting point because when you think about it, right, as an athlete within esports, you truly are focused and concentrated on right here, right? But you still are working and operating at a high level inside the brain. It definitely is a task and a half, especially for some of these combatants. I think that we can throw to the bracket real quick and just run through some of the contestants of today's Muay Thai tournament. Now, Robin, one thing that I want to bring to your attention is the return of the king. The boss man himself is coming back to combat. Z Hunter is here, Robin.
So 2 years off, I understand. And at the time Hunter left, he was dominant. I don't know. I saw some numbers, 190 in 3 years, something insane. Super dominant, and that's brilliant. 2 years a long time. What we don't see that time, so we imagine and we will project what we think we do. Oh, time off. Well, you don't know what this man is doing. He's got a family, but what is he doing in his spare time? How is he training? How is he training his mind? How is he changing the way he sees combat? If you want to go back and study how he performed 2 years ago, probably irrelevant. He won't express combat the same way. So yeah, man, it's gonna be really cool. Cool cat, but a lot of pressure. You know, he's gonna be being watched and being judged.
By one of the best brains in the world, of course. And the other contestants, though, the Kingsmen, KM Tadpole and KM Caliber, also in today's bracket. These boys are vicious, very well-rounded, but when you restrict the rule set, right, you're operating on a Muay Thai, it's a different ball game. We'll see if their skills really rise to the occasion, especially against EK Bang Bang. Now, Robin, EK Bang Bang is an absolute monster inside the octagon. He starts fast, he starts quick, and he comes at you with everything that he has. That quarterfinal for KM Tadpole, that is a tough drawing right there.
It's interesting when you reference how much it has changed because we're taking away an entire area of fighting. Right? We can't grapple outside of the clinch. We can't move to the back. We can't move to the ground. And the entire spider web of combat that happens there is gone. So we have reduced the complexity of the options, which increases the complexity within those options. A simple jab to a low kick, it is increased complexity of amount of choices, but increased complexity in how you use those choices. So what I'm saying, what I'm overstating is it is not simpler because you have less things. It just changes the way we focus on those things.
And I'm about ready to focus on our first fight of the evening, EK Jakey versus EK Slick. This one, Elite King on Elite King. We've got EK Jakey over in the red corner, Boxer Powerhouse on him. boxer powerhouse on EK Slick as well. So we're evening the score statistically, Robin, but it's all about how you play the game. At the end of the day, 10 wins to one side, 15 to the other. Personally, Robin, I do not put a lot of stock into history record. We don't know what that is. That could be sparring. That could be just running into each other on ranked. Who knows if they're really going 100%. That 10 to 15 isn't necessarily the story of the fight, but we're going to see it in just a moment.
Something I've talked a lot with Chael Sonnen about is it doesn't matter about past performances to a great degree. You are doing this now and only now. There's no do-overs. It's not yesterday. It's not later. It's right now. How are you able to perform in this environment, in this moment?
Some gamesmanship from Slick to start things off. A little bit of a finger taunt, touch of gloves, and we are underway for the Esfl ADOX Muay Thai tournament.
So help me again, my friend. Slick is in the red shorts, correct?
Slick is over on the right side of the screen in the red shorts. EK Jakey in the left just caught a quick 1-2 to the chin.
And the environment is wonderful. See, as soon as you take away the potential of grappling and attacking the lower body, notice how much more important the jab has become immediately.
Range is both contestants. You can see the Rod Tang choice in terms of name for EK Slick over on that right side. Interesting, and he's utilizing that jab, as you mentioned, very effectively. Kind of getting in the face, peppering up EK Jakey early. Big 2 right there, just connects.
So Slick is really responding to every feint with there he got caught. By pulling up his hands and looking to block, Jakey can start to attack the legs, no question. See how he's paying so much attention to his head, is Slick?
Absolutely. Slips traded right there. Each guy got caught a little bit. The head health on Rod Tang, EK Slick, a little bit worse for wear as we approach the midway point through this first round. 1-2 connects right there. Referee looking on with intent.
I was noticing yesterday too that as fighters reach a higher level, there's much more disengagement. Much less just mashing together and attacking, much more disengagement. They're tight elbow.
Talking about disengagement, some serious engagement right there. EK Slick taking a ton of heat to the chin, momentarily stumbled. Seems like he's back in the fight, but the question is, how long can he mount somewhat of a comeback? Big slip straight right there, Robin.
Yeah, it was, somebody's attacking you. Covering up is a low-level rudimentary defense. Answering and intercepting is a much higher level of defense because you don't take the damage and you do damage.
Big whiff right there from Slick EK Jakey. Trying to be a little bit patient as we kind of come through this first round. Takes a 1-2 on the chin. Gets a little bit rocked, but doing all right. Big knee to the midsection.
I liked the way that Jakey's moving, and Jakey's really varying up the defense. It's not just that, he eats a right hand there, and then he slips to the inside with his own right.
And to your point, EK Slick content to sit in that pocket and just hide behind the guard. Let the forearms do the work. Lead uppercut lands for EK Slick. EK Jakey being the aggressor, though. We're talking about pressure in this first set of 5 minutes, Robin. And EK Jakey has dictated the majority of the range.
Ooh. And Jakey landed that slick uppercut, just jacked up the chin. Both have the availability to start attacking the lower body, be a little more patient, and attack the lower body because they're both so highly focused on the northern hemisphere.
To your point, a little bit of a lead calf kick right there from EK Slick. Once again going downstairs as Slick seems like he's listening to you, Robin. You're coaching him from the commentary booth.
There's a natural ebb and flow to fighting, and if it's something that our third-person perspective is very different from their. Oh, look at this! That's calmly watches it go by, and then the slick uppercut. Oh, I love the overhead view. But yeah, sometimes you or I or viewers at home will see something, and the fighters will do it. They're seeing it or feeling it or experiencing it in tactile, even as we're seeing it from a third-person perspective.
Ooh. Right hand right there, just stunned EK Jakey momentarily. EK Slick taunting. I love the gamesmanship from that right side. He really is trying.
Yeah, Jakey's tucking the uppercut in very, very well. When somebody's covering up high, see that space between my elbows? That's what he's finding. There again.
Right there.
There again. There again.
EK Slick meets the canvas for the first time. That is the first knockdown. If EK Slick gets knocked down on 2 more occasions, this fight will be concluded. Good respect shown by both combatants midway through the second round.
we're noticing Slick a lot because his movements are very, very interesting.
Oh.
But it is Jakey with the second knockdown. This time the right in between the V of the elbow. Jakey is really the one starting to take control and see everything.
And now what we're looking at is a very compromised head on EK Slick, right? The damage that he's taken is truly a mountain to come back from. And you can see both standing in the pocket, though. Even hurt, EK Slick is here to play, Robin.
Dangerous. But Jakey has shown, there, the right hand over the top. Jakey has shown patience. So rather than try to finish that head, he can go to the body, go to the legs. You know that Slick is going to be covering up high, so you can go downstairs. Slick will also be answering back because that's who he is.
Oh, and that is it! The 3 knockdowns completed by EK Jakey. EK Slick goes to sleep.
Yeah, sick. So with 3 knockdowns, they accept their fate with a bow and then get shut off.
The Kumite Arena does not take any prisoners. EK Jakey successful in the first fight of the evening. You can see a little bit of a ducking roundhouse patented by the likes of Dillashaw and others with that striking. What a good fight to start things off, Robin.
Really, really cool fight. And you notice the 3 knockdowns were different ways. That the second knockdown was a number of uppercuts, and the third one was a right hand through that V, because once you have a guy starting to worry about this, now something else opens. That's the nature of combat. You can only assign so much of your defensive systems to deal with a particular front. You'll have to leave something undefended.
And the issue is the head movement simply was not there for EK Slick either, right? He did a lot of slipping, right? A lot of slip straights, trying to make that offensive maneuver work. But to your point, you are exposing yourself. You're putting yourself at risk, and EK Jakey capitalized on it, read it like a and closed it like he did. Now, to start things off, we'll keep on moving, Robin, through today's bracket, because I just want to see some violence.
Yes.
Going to the bracket, the next one on the list is going to be Kezza versus Genga Ninja. Now, Kezza, of course, I believe is a aggro champion, which is a creative fighter league. So this is his bread and butter. Genga Ninja, a cage rage veteran and somebody who has made waves across the scene. I like that the 3 wins to 4. You can tell that these guys don't spar often. They're not teammates. So we can put maybe a little bit more weight into the record between them, but that the shorts on Kezza, Robin, are definitely something to see.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if you're going to decide to dye your hair a particular color, you owe it to us to wear that color of short.
Oh, you got to match it. You have to match the top and the bottom. I love it.
And the gloves.
And the gloves. He's fully, I mean, this is a true wardrobe from Kezza. And now we're seeing a difference in discipline, though, right? Down at 135, boxer powerhouse on Kezza's side, balanced virtuoso for Genga Ninja. Now, Robin, balanced virtuoso is, as the name suggests, very well versed. Movement is, in my opinion, one of the best archetypes to pick. You just move laterally so quickly, fade in and outside of the pocket, and your striking isn't entirely, you're not trying to kill people with every strike. It's much more touch, boom, whereas boxer powerhouse, you're really trying to clip the chin and get the hand raised early.
Yesterday, we saw when people selected TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw's game is designed on movement, and I asked Dwayne Ludwig about it. And sometimes you'll see people connected to the ground and create a lot of force, channel a lot of energy. When they're moving, like Dominic Cruz, you don't see quite as high of impact. Dwayne explained to me that there are ways we create impact through movement. As we take a step, it transfers even more energy, and that's the design of this type of athlete, whether in the physical realm or a neurological athlete, is we're using movement to hit more often, to allow ourselves to move more often, but we have that ability to transfer large amounts of energy with a single strike when we find it or create it.
And there's a lot to that point at lower weight classes, right? You want that accumulative damage. You don't want to be a one-hit, KO kind of guy. You want to be able to just dominate and have your success offensively throughout the duration of the fight. At 135, you don't see people getting put to sleep too often. It really is a attrition-based game down at bantamweight sometimes.
Sometimes somebody will see TJ Dillashaw land a head kick, and they might say, I've seen TJ Dillashaw land 18 head kicks, and people don't go to sleep. It's like those two things are related. He lands so many head kicks, because they are hidden, they are camouflaged within movement, and then he's not so set that he delivers them with power. And it makes sense at 135. He may kick you in the head 3 or 4 times tonight, and that's going to be better than if you land 0, or you try really hard to land the single knockout head kick and never land it. It's all by design. You take something away here to add something there, and that is how you build a fighter.
Talking about building a fighter, I'm building my anticipation for this second fight of the evening. Kezza versus Tmf Ginger. Let's see who gets their hand raised in the second bout of the Muay Thai 80X tournament. Again, at 135, truly, you have to find your angles, find your moments. And I will say, I love the ink on Genga Ninja. Look at those sleeves, man. That is some good work right there.
Dig it.
Buffer getting us underway with the legendary It's Time. Head over to the Kumite Arena. I love this setting. As you mentioned earlier, truly a fun addition into UFC 4 is the ability to just hop on into this, even though I don't know if it's below ground, above ground. It's just a cool space to be.
It is cool. Very cool. As in the green, all green, correct? Yes.
All green is Kezza Genga Ninja in the black shorts and black gloves. Kezza looking.
We gotta go Ginger Ninja, right? We gotta call him the Ginger Ninja. Do we not?
The Ginger Ninja. We gotta give the Genga Ninja, Ginger Ninja, whichever he prefers.
Yeah, we'll leave it up to him. So Kezza is the heavier, in theory, the heavier hitter. But notice the way he's using that teep and using his kicks. Oh, beautiful. Control the head, throw the knee up.
And you can see right there to that point, though, right? Genga Ninja fading back as Kezza's throwing out a 3-piece combination. No strikes landed. Now Genga Ninja trading inside the pocket.
Oh, there was a block down and then the kick on the off. It was an off-time kick, which is really fascinating. You see it reflected within, neurological fighting, just like physical fighting. If I get you to block, then after that moment, it's the perfect time to strike.
And talking about a perfect time to strike, Genga Ninja fighting a lot of time midway through this first round, landing frequently to the head, utilizing straight shots, right? There's not a lot of looping strikes within his arsenal. It truly is down the middle, whereas Kezza is trying to come around the guard with those big power punches.
Love the catching of the high kick and then moving to the liver by the Ninja.
Oh, big 1-2 lands again. That is a dangerous thing for Kezza to do, right? When you're partially lifted, you're throwing a kick, and then you get intercepted. That is truly when you're at your most vulnerable.
Yeah, one leg on the ground. It's a tough time to be hit. Very different. And we see that throughout. You can. Oh, that's a rough one. The shin tucked in under the arm. You see their personalities reflected in their movements.
Genga Ninja whips right there. Big front kick up the middle, though. Kezza announcing himself as we approach the final 2 minutes of this first round.
From a front kick to a deep knee to a backing up strike. That's, Kezza may have selected to have the advantages of a heavier hitter, but he's moving like a mover, which is an interesting strategy to add, impact to your strikes. That
is not where you're going to be if you're Genga Ninja. Again, getting backed up into the side of this octagon here. Reverses the position beautifully, though. Genga Ninja has a lot of time left to work in this first round to sort of steal it on the judges' scorecard, right? No super significant moments yet, but I have to think that Kezza's the one that has been landing the more significant strikes through the first 5 minutes.
It's a tough one to watch, but I agree with you. A tough one to be able to interpret that. Those are big at the end now, but
right as we're talking about significance, Robin, that was a big stun right there. Kezza's got to be kicking himself for allowing it to occur in the final minute of this first round.
Sometimes that, who allowed what is almost in the nature of like a rock, paper, scissors. If both of us make a choice, and there you see tucks one through. Both of us make a choice in almost the exact same moment. There's a rock, paper, scissor element to it. And so you can second guess or regret your choice, but the choice has passed.
Oh, big switch kick right there to the body from Kezza, landing to the midsection, brutalizing those baby back ribs, Robin.
Oh! Oh!
Big big drop right there. And again, that's the second time that Kezza's tried that check left into a spinning kick to the body. And that's the second time it hasn't worked. Needs to adjust the strategy a little bit on that strike.
Genga Ninja is now throwing more in combination, a third and a fourth strike often compared to that first round. And that may have been either an adjustment or a strategy. You know, sometimes you try to get your opponent to feel like they understand how you think, and then change how you think.
You have to start thinking the confidence for Genga Ninja is truly flowing. 3 minutes and 20 seconds with which to work in the second round. Already secured a single knockdown, once again, 2 more, and he will be going home the victor as he proceeds through this bracket. But again, Kezza has those hands. He can put the lights out at any notice with those attributes on Boxer Powerhouse.
Really interesting moment where they both came in and stood there. Just comparing non-movement, waiting for someone to move. It was a fascinating little exchange. Right there again. Oh! Just that little... Oof.
Beautiful dodge right there. Kezza avoids the overhand by going low and hiding and protecting the head. But you have to think, this is what we're talking about with accumulative damage down at 135. Genga Ninja is putting some money in the bank with all these strikes.
Ninja keeps going. Anytime a kick comes high, he goes to the liver. And if you are, watch for it again. Anytime a kick, now see if he goes to the liver. Or a spinning elbow. There it is. Those are the 2 options that he's playing off that catch. And so if you are Kezza, you know that those are the 2 options that he's throwing, and you want to be able to respond, not just block.
90 seconds remain. Oh, big left hand right there from Genga Ninja. Once again, stunned is Kezza.
Oh. Hurts him and then goes downstairs, but
look at this damage. Oh, big front kick though. Kezza still very much in the 60 seconds remain, and he gets a stun. Wow.
That was a wild exchange, you know. That's also why, you know, when someone is hurt, and we see it all the time in many different forms of combat, when someone is hurt, they are more dangerous.
Truly is the throwing with, some would say, reckless abandon, of course, in those stun situations when you are still being the aggressor. And right there, Genga Ninja putting it on Kezza. Wow.
Finishing with the uppercut. That is number 2. Knockdown number 2.
Five minutes remain in this bantamweight contest, and you have to think Kezza is against the ropes, Robin.
So if you're Kezza, you often feel like you have to make large movements now. This is when you see Superman punches and spinning kicks and huge attempts at finishes, and that's not the case. You don't have to do that. 5 minutes is a long time. You can be patient and just find your marks there. He does with 2 straight rights. You often see somebody, and in Muay Thai you'll see this a lot, where you just go to hands if you're down in the final round. But those leg kicks will still work, particularly in 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a long time to be able to attack the leg repeatedly.
And you gotta think only 1 or 2 are needed to cause some serious problems if you land them in the right spot. But Kezza, now being the aggressor, gets stunned once again though. Oh!
There it is.
Oh! Game, set, match. Genga Ninja silences Kezza in the 3rd round, Robin.
That was a fun one to watch, and you know, the Genga Ninja made a ton of smart decisions, but it was a long play strategy too, learning and improving as it went on, downloading the information. And here you saw that straight one when it finished it. In the second, it was an uppercut that dropped him. Really just learned and gathered the information and made adjustments, and then was able to finish it.
And that's something that we saw throughout the duration of the 12 minutes that fight was contested, is the right hand of Genga Ninja. Inside the pocket, he would conclude the combinations, coming over the top with that appendage, and boy, talk about a finish. That's the first finish that we've had on this card. Let's go.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, and that's great eye, my friend, to be able to notice it always ended with the right hand, and that can be a coincidence. 3, statistically speaking, that can be a coincidence, but it can also be shoehorning yourself into your strongest weapon. You know, everything else takes place to slowly set you up to be struck by your biggest weapon, and he's certainly sophisticated enough to have, for that to have been intentional.
Absolutely. Now, moving onwards and upwards through the card, we keep the action quick here at the ESFL. Next up is the Kingsman, Tadpole, the founder, the leader of the KM camp, taking on the Elite King, EK Bang Bang. Now, we've talked a ton, Robin, about EK and KM. These are two of the most elite camps on the scene, and no better person to represent than the founder himself stepping inside the octagon. You can see Boxer Powerhouse is what he'll be selecting. Boxer Powerhouse is also what EK Bang Bang is bringing into the octagon.
It's a fascinating thing to be able, for me, as I'm starting to learn more about these teams and how they train and how they learn and how their skills develop. It's a really cool part of the experience for me.
And again, on the note of ink and tattoos, EK Bang Bang is quite tatted up right there. He's got the name right across the chest. I mean, we'll never forget who he is, Robin, when he's got that just absolutely staple.
Neither will he.
No, yeah, he won't either.
Although, if he keeps looking in the mirror, he'll think he's Gnab.
Now, 4 wins to 2, these guys have contested several times across the space in different promotions. I'm interested to see, with what we've talked about, right? Taking away the tools. Let's see who comes out on top. The gamesmanship right there from EK Bang Bang.
Are you ready? Fight!
Bang Bang's reputation is that he's flashy, and flashy can be effective, not just there. I love the sneak in with the right jab. You know, you hear a lot of this nonsense, always keep your front foot on the outside. Notice Bang Bang is sneaking his front foot to the inside to gain the line for the jab.
Look how quick Bang Bang works, and you'd think, right, this is just a ton for KM Tadpole to deal with. EK Bang Bang, a fast starter. Tadpole, somebody who likes to get a bit more into the flow of the fight, right? He breaks his reads, and he's much more of a cerebral fighter. EK Bang Bang, just in your face early!
Break, stop.
Love it. So again, watch Bang Bang's feet. By moving to the inside, you're doing counter to what your opponent is expecting you to do. You're also drawing out his right hand, so you only have one weapon to avoid, and you're setting up your front hand as well as the uppercut and the hook. Watch his feet. See, inside, sliding, right there. Inside for the jab, inside for the hook, and then all you have to do is worry about the one straight right hand, which he has eaten there a few times.
Tadpole trying to give him a lot of things. Oh! Body knocked down right there.
Great choice. We were dealing with all of this action up high and different angles up high. Went 2 to the body.
And this is what we were talking about through the first 2 fights, right? Mixing it up, being very diverse in your striking selection. KM Tadpole really making that midsection work. But again, EK Bang Bang just is so pressure heavy and focused on being in your face at all times. It truly is difficult to make any success.
Tadpole landed a right knee up the middle. That weapon will be available as well. See, notice they're both moving, quote, towards the power hand. People will advise a novice never to do that, but at the higher levels, that's done all the time.
And especially with the Orthodox and Southpaw stance matchup that we have right here again, you've got so many different tools. KM Tadpole has that rear roundhouse, as does EK Bang Bang available.
But if you move towards it, you actually change the angle. And so we hear this said all the time, over and over and over again, stay away from the power side. That's not true at the high levels. That is a novice truth at best. Because at the high levels, you don't avoid threats. You draw them, and you use them against them. Of course it's dangerous, but fighting's fucking dangerous.
KM Tadpole used to danger and threats. He's been through the fire and back. Now just under 60 seconds, knockdown a piece on both sides. This is hot action coming at you. But again, it's impressing me through 5 minutes how Tadpole's been able to deal with EK Bang Bang's offensive attempts.
Yeah, same. You know, when you're being pressured against the ropes, you've got your back, you have nowhere to go direct back, you have only 2 directions to go. Sometimes staying right in the fire is a smart move, because at least you know what direction things are coming from. Tadpole's doing it. One more big shot, and Tadpole will put him down. There it is, uppercuts.
And I mean, that was a beautiful combination that he threw in the final moments of this first round. He did a slip straight into a ducking roundhouse. You just don't see that, you know what I mean? And there's that body knockdown earlier. Great selection. As Robin Bach would say, that's a bink right to the liver.
Yes, deliver to the liver. So let's see now. Tadpole is in the early going. Bang Bang was doing things that were unpredictable, and now he's back to it.
Look at this. What a start to round 2 for EK Bang Bang. Stunning the Kingsman founder with a great selection of hooks. And then, as we've talked about, uppercuts right through the middle. That guard is split in half, courtesy of an EK Bang Bang uppercut.
I love the little touch to the liver. These two are really beautifully matched.
Oh. And look at this. Now KM Tadpole pushing forward. You could see Bang Bang was momentarily hurt by that kick. It seems like he's recovered, though, nicely.
God, Bang Bang just vaporizes any gap between you, which of course is really tough to deal with, but it is predictable. Then there.
Wow. Fast strikes from KM Tadpole. That was a 4-punch combination, just blistering speed midway through round 2. Rear roundhouse also connects to the midsection.
Oh! It's 2 apiece now.
One knockdown secures the victory, Robin.
So depending on how you interpret this, if your heart rate goes up and your cortisol goes up and you feel distress, you would just create chaos, and that's what happens. That's what
Chaos achieved. EK Bang Bang secures the victory over the founder of the Kingsmen. What a performance from the Elite King. What we dissected in that one, Robin, through 8 minutes of action was pressure, offensive assault, just a barrage of coming forward and not taking a single step back. Did he get knocked down? Absolutely. Was there a few defensive gaps that KM Tadpole exploited? 100%. But at the end of the day, what a victory for EK Bang Bang.
Yes, and when we came to, 2 men had been knocked down twice each. That's going to favor Bang Bang because he creates chaos. And in scenarios of chaos, he finds more comfort. Chaos is simply patterns we do not yet understand. But a man who spends a lot of time in chaos is much more comfortable there, right? He starts to understand the patterns. So you can't second guess, but Tadpole, to be able to move laterally and try to take away that dice roll effect may have favored him, but hindsight's 2020. It was a wonderful, wonderful contest between those two.
I'll say, Robin, I think that the next tattoo that EK Bang Bang should get, Man in Chaos, right across the chest above the name.
Chaos is simply patterns we do not yet understand. So it's wordy, but it would look good on the lower back. A tramp stamp.
Bit of a tramp stamp for Bang Bang. Onwards and upwards through the 8OX card. Now, Robin, the next fight that we've got is one that you and I are anticipating quite heavily. The return of the boss man, Z Hunter, coming back to the action. Again, we don't know what he's going to look like, what he's going to do, but we have to assume that he's got to be confident if he's staging a comeback.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny one because there's so many things about it. You can train like crazy. We don't know if the boss man has been training like crazy. We don't know if he took a break, but the sort of comfort in the chaos, the comfort in the pressure, the comfort in the intensity, that thing has to come back real quick. If I'm facing somebody who's had 2 years off, I'm going to attack immediately. I'm going to try to put them in that, full real speed as fast as possible and try to stress them, but we shall see.
We will. If the second Kingsman member can come out quick, suffocate the returning boss man, maybe that's the path to victory. This is the final quarterfinal of the card. We are quickly making our way to the semifinals. On the left side of the bracket, we have EK Jakey taking on Tmf Genga Ninja. One of those men will punch their ticket to the finals, and this fight will decide who meets EK Bang Bang in the semifinals. KM Caliber versus Z Hunter, down at 135. Now, once again, boxer pressure for Z Hunter. Maybe he's looking to be the one coming out of the gates swinging. The little tagline was swinging and banging, I believe. Good quote to live by.
It's an interesting thought to choose something that favors a particular skill or approach, but actually fight a different way. So I can choose a pressure fighter, I can choose a high impact fighter, but fight sophisticated. It will make it more difficult for my footwork, but when I hit, I will hit harder. So it's an interesting give and take.
And especially within the confines of this game, there is a lot of manipulation of the meta that people talk about. I've seen many individuals use Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, not as a point fighter, but inside the pocket, brawling, you know what I mean? It's the different uses, because you find your way, right? You in the offline, you think, okay, I can use him in this manner, and that's the best way to success. Z Hunter, though, having a little bit of trouble in this first minute.
Yeah, although Z Hunter looks comfortable and focused in the decision making, right? That's what you want to see. Is, are we hesitating? You know, no. Z Hunter is making choices and moving forward.
Cognition.
You see the choices, whether that being a block or a forward or a backward. Yes, the cognition's a perfect term for it. I like the term choiceless awareness, where you're just allowing yourself to make the proper choice.
Free-flowing does seem to be the game plan for Z Hunter. Love the work with the jab, right? He's doubling up on it, trying to find holes in the guard, and then exploiting with 4-punch combinations. But look at that, KM Caliber meets him with a bit of an uppercut overhand.
So once the 2 or 3 punches started to come, Caliber drew, uppercut, overhand, and it is, that is a result of interpretation and expectation. Caliber started to predict the future based on what he had seen in the past.
Caliber midway through round 1, definitely giving it to the boss man, but Z Hunter pushing forward. Big front kick right there, and now the liver gets attacked.
And just standing in the pocket, and Hunter is now throwing the inside striking. A switch of stance from Caliber is really smart, but doesn't throw Hunter at all.
KM Caliber is doing something interesting with his movement, right? He's sort of lunging to the left and then winging a strike. I love mixing it up in that way, and it helps him circle out. You can see Z Hunter is trying to be the aggressor. Gets stunned right there, though.
Yeah, this is a crazy shot.
Boss man meets the canvas, Robin.
And immediately comes back into it forward. Hunter will want to draw and strike here because there's a lot of offense coming. So there, and you see exactly that, pulls back to the low kick. Very smart. And then the high
mixes
kick.
it up and goes high. Beautiful diversity in the striking from Z Hunter. Now mixing it up. KM Caliber eating all the shots he can take. Seems like he's hungry for action, Robin.
Yeah, I love it. Caliber's fighting exactly how you want. Low kick, right hook. Left low kick, right hook. Very smart. And a left uppercut and a spinning heel kick.
And that
Hunter
spinning
just backs out.
partially blocked, right? If that one came through, it could have been lights out for the boss man. The return could have been spoiled. KM Caliber doing great work in the final minute of round 1.
KM Caliber looking to spoil it as it is. You know, already dropped Hunter 1 time. Very smart and perfectly stepping off, looking to the body. A few big ones, and there's an answer.
And look at that, then going to the body, mixing it up. Insane is KM Caliber. Conclusion of round 1 is a left hand from Hunter, but that was almost one-way traffic for a few minutes there. KM Caliber just seemed to, he couldn't miss. He could not miss with those hands.
That left hook happened just on a tiny step in from Hunter. So Hunter was trying to interpret or forecast that the second punch was the last punch and instead ate the third. It is a game of forecasting. When we say he made the read, what we're actually saying is he predicted the future correctly. And that's really what the mind is doing here. You're either predicting the future correctly or, fortunately, incorrectly.
Big miss right there from Z Hunter, spinning attempt to the body lands for KM Caliber. And to the point, yeah, that's why you have to mix it up, in my opinion, right? Be unpredictable. I think Z Hunter could really use more kicks, right? Because that's the rangy attacks. Teeps, front kicks to the midsection. Yeah. That not only gives you a bit of space, but it also mixes it up. Oh!
A switch kick to a rear shot, and if I'm Caliber, I'm coming on right now. Smart, controlled pressure.
Obviously, with 2 knockdowns for KM Caliber, Z Hunter scoring 0 through the first 8 minutes. But can he get one right here? Oh! The boss man is not done yet, Robin.
Puts the shin up over top of the shoulder. Now retreating. Oh, he eats a hard lead right hook.
Caliber went airborne right there for a moment. Seemed like he wanted to do a attack. Oh, that's it. That is it. Wow.
We'll probably see the replay of the double kick at the end instead of the one that did it, but it was on a switch step. It was on a little switch step, and KM Caliber, and like I said, it's about forecasting. We'll say he made the read. You know, that's the television commentary term. But what you're actually asking the brain to do is anticipate correctly, interpret the future. And that's what Caliber did. Caliber interpreted the future, found the moment of the switch step, and just drilled it. And then, of course, finished with the double kick.
And gotta respect the ability to make those reads in a split second, right? You're inside the pocket, you're standing and trading. You don't have a lot of time to think. So the fact that Cam Caliber was able to predict and, as you say, forecast is truly impressive, especially against Z Hunter. You know, all love to the boss, man. Unfortunate that the return was not as successful, but a great performance by both competitors, in my opinion.
Truly, you know, and both did it exactly right. Z Hunter was able to handle the pressure, got a knockdown himself, had a really good performance. Caliber also, there's additional pressure. Now, you're the guy who has to stay calm enough, not overthink it, and be able to take out a man who hasn't competed in 2 years. Both handled it beautifully. I think the audience will have enjoyed both their performances. There's going to be no hate.
Oh, if you've loved it, let's hear it, boys, in the Twitch chat and on the YouTube. If you're loving the card so far, drop it down below. One thing that I want to make a bit of a note of, a little bit of an announcement, right? ESFL 122. This is the first PlayStation card of Season 3. Zayaf is returning and in an attempt to remain the double champion, defending the throne on both consoles. That will be Saturday, September 4th. Robin, what did you think of Zayaf's performance yesterday?
Yeah, man, like, it's really difficult. We're limited by language as we see artists change and evolve. We're trying to use the old language that we used to describe Uriah Faber or that we used to describe Matt Hughes to describe Stephen Thompson. We have limitations of language, but what you see is the sort of connection to the flow on a higher level. You know, you see an artist like that, a neurological artist like that, being able to flow seamlessly, as if to not think this is striking, this is grappling, this is wrestling, and it's all just combat. And that's what we saw, and that's what you're going to see out of these younger and better and more advanced athletes.
I think I actually saw that in Gordon Ryan's new instructional. I think he just went, this is grappling, and then it ended. It was a very short instructional.
That's right. Yeah.
One other announcement before the semifinals are underway. The ESFL roster applications are open. If you want to contest with the best, absolutely try. There is a Twitch command if you want to bring that up, and the link is also available in the ESFL Discord. If you think you have the skills to do what these boys are doing, definitely throw down inside the ESFL Octagon. Now, semifinals underway. Robin, first matchup will be Tmf Genga Ninja versus the Elite King and EK Jakey. Boxer powerhouse, balance virtuoso. This one's a stylistic matchup for the ages down at 135.
Yeah, and they both performed so well in that opening round. I'm excited to see and they're different. They're very, very different. That's something we talked about a little bit, but you see it in physical combat, and you see it in this type of combat as well. You can see the life experience in the movements. You can see the personality in the movements. If you watch fighting long enough, of any kind, this type of fighting as well, it's like listening to a blues guitarist play the guitar. You hear it's a C, a G, and a D, but he does it different. You hear his life experience in the notes, and that's what you see. If you watch combat long enough, you see the expression of the individuality in the movements.
Talking about that expression, what we've already analyzed from these two competitors, EK Jakey, the aggressor, all pressure, all power with that boxer archetype choice. TMF Genga Ninja, a patient competitor. Some would say, right, he is a thinker, an analyzer. But one thing that we do have to mention, Robin, 0-4 is what we're looking at in the record between these two contestants. Winless is TMF Genga Ninja. EK Jakey taking 4 wins. I mean, again, I don't want to put stock into it, but pitching a shutout so far, that's got to be a bit of a mental game, potentially.
It can be, for sure. You start to overthink it. Yeah, you know, and you can also get overconfident. If you beat up on your little brother your whole life, eventually that guy's gonna, you know, pull a knife on you, right? Like, perhaps I overstated it ever so slightly, but sometimes you can become a little too overconfident and a little too arrogant as well. So there's the dynamic changes under all these scenarios, and you can't always draw conclusions from it, but that's the beauty of it, right? All of these things are at play. We like to be able to break things down into a single talking point, but there never is. There's millions of variables all in play simultaneously. That's the beauty.
The X Factors are underway. In the black shorts is TMF Ginger out of that red corner. In the gray shorts is EK Jakey. A lot of action so far in the first 30 seconds right here, Robin.
Yeah, these shins to the thigh meat by the Genga Ninja, I think are gonna make a big difference when they're both coming forward and you start digging into those quadricep muscles. That can make a big difference.
And that's something that we really haven't seen through the first several fights, is somebody who's dedicated to the leg attacks and utilizing those kicks. It is such an effective weapon, especially in a 15-minute setting, right? If you hammer through the first 5, guess what? Movement is hindered for the next 10. Big shots right there, though, from Ginger in the pocket.
Oh. Yeah, Jakey had some really nice moments there before those phrases, before those little paragraphs of attack. But yeah, the Genga Ninja is really starting to like him. There again with the hook. There's been some sick little off-ball, little off-time, off-rhythm shots too.
And it's all about openings. EK Jakey has the hands low to some extent, right? He is looking to impose his will, but with that, you leave yourself exposed. Left hook of Genga Ninja has found the mark on several occasions. 3 minutes remain in the first round.
My favorite little choice that Genga Ninja is making is a slip to a punch. Not a slip punch, but a slip pause punch. And that has worked many times.
And that's exactly the... Shot going airborne, going downstairs instead. Meets the canvas is Tmf Ginger Ninja. Unsure if the boys in the back
gonna go down.
As a knockdown. That was a weird...
I think that was a knockdown. I mean, while airborne, he was hit.
That's a knockdown right there for sure, though.
Yeah. The question is, have we seen 2 or only 1?
Now we've seen... Well, that could be it, potentially.
I mean, I would keep fighting.
We'll let Genga Ninja keep fighting. We'll give him a chance to get back in here, but this is one-way traffic for EK Jakey.
That'll be it.
The shutout continues 5-0 overall against Tmf Genga Ninja, the Elite King, scoring in the semifinals, Robin.
Sometimes mindset is just a weapon. And early we saw Genga Ninja really being fancy with all these movements. And Jakey's mindset was, I'll stay in here. I'll take only partial shots whenever possible, and I'll give you full ones. Or I'll take 1 and I'll land 2. It was a mindset thing, and it worked.
And you can see right there, the finishing blow was a massive head kick. EK Jakey breakdancing inside the Kumite arena. That's a tough post-fight taunt if you are the opponent who unfortunately lost. Looking over and seeing your victorious opponent breakdancing, gotta be a mental one. But phenomenal work in the semifinals, punching the ticket to the finals is EK Jakey. On the other side of the bracket, one of the Kingsmen remains, KM Caliber versus another Elite King member, EK Bang Bang. Now, Robin, we know exactly what Bang Bang wants to do. He wants to come forward. He wants to put everything he has onto his opponent with the heavy hands that he possesses. KM Caliber, though, what we've seen, patient thinking striker. The approach, I believe, that he needs to do is attack the midsection. Take away the cardio of EK Bang Bang.
We saw Bang Bang go down twice, two body punches. Yeah, at least one with 2 body punches, and dropped him at least 1 time in that one. What's interesting about Bang Bang, why I enjoyed watching him fight so much, is because we see the pressure and we see sort of that crowding mindset, but there's a subtlety within it. It isn't just move forward and try to overwhelm you with strikes. There's subtlety within those pockets. You know, there's ranges of fighting. You know, when the game was designed and in the realities of fighting, we think of it in 4 ranges. Range 4, the outside orbit, you can kick from there. Range 3, sometimes we'll call that the tight circle. That's the extent of where I can reach my knuckles to your chin with my feet on the ground. Range 2, we'll call the pocket, elbows and knees. In that range, there's a lot of subtlety, a lot more than most people realize. Bang Bang knows that. And so that's an interesting part that we saw in his last performance, and we'll see it in this one, is how he plays within that tight range.
The method to the madness, I completely agree. And Bang Bang, when he does miss, right, it's not by miles, it is only by centimeters, because again, that's how he likes to contest the fights, right up in your face. He doesn't have the opportunity to miss big. He can only miss small, which definitely speaks to the high IQ that this fighter possesses. Either way, I believe we're waiting for them to get into the lobby right now, potentially. Connection issues are a fun part of UFC 4.
Yeah,
the network's not there.
Yeah, and all of these things, like when we are watching people compete, all of these things matter. How good is somebody at handling a delay? How good is somebody at getting themselves ready? It's time to go, and finding out they have to wait. My friend Mark Hominick once had to wait like 6 hours to fight. He was fighting on the early Affliction show, and he was a float fighter, and he was supposed to be on right before the break. Then Megadeth played, if people remember that show. They had a band, and then everyone fought, and at the end of the night he fought, and he stayed warm for the entire night. Right? So how you handle things, the unexpected. Novel experiences are difficult for the mind to process. They take up more mind power, they burn more sugars, they add more pressure. How good are you at dealing with these variables? Everything matters.
And these challenges are the absolute last thing that you want in the 8OX Muay Thai tournament, right? You're in the semifinals, and this is just, it's a disruption that you just don't need. But either way, I think we'll head over to the lobby right now. I believe the connection has satisfied and secured. So let's get underway for the second semifinal of the evening. There might be a bug. Who knows? Who knows? While we're waiting.
Semi-final of the evening. and then we pause.
We'll just
wait. We wait. We wait. I see two readies, but I do not see two fighters. Perhaps they're ready.
We won't know, Robin. We won't know with these fighters who they are. It's blank going into it. One thing to note before this semifinal contest gets underway, join the ESFL community Discord. Compete in Discord challenges, find different sparring partners to fine-tune your game, and also hang out with the rest of the ESFL competitive community.
You ready?
Bang bang in the red.
A lot of high-octane start to this fight.
You know, we mentioned all variables matter. The larger the ring or cage, the better it will be for you if you're facing Bang Bang. You need the most maximum room for lateral movement. See, Bang Bang covers up and moves right in. I love it.
And right there again, finds it. That left hook, doubling up on it, now going big. KM Caliber eating so many shots in this first minute.
Caliber answered with a hard right hand. Caliber's doing the correct thing, which is in the moments, the little pauses of the retraction of the weapon, that's what he's like.
You can see the pullback is there for the Elite King. Bang Bang just pressing. I could have a football field and he would still be right in my face, pressuring me.
Yes, he would. And so you look at the relationship of their feet and the relationship of the pelvic girdle and the chest. And look how close they are, right? Sometimes you see people close, but only their feet are close, or only their chest is close. You see him removing that space entirely.
And it's complemented by the stances that these gentlemen are working with. Again, the orthodox southpaw really, massive movement right here from Cam Caliber. That is the lunging and the Dominic Cruz-esque kind of lateral side to side that we know and love. Getting shot right here.
This is a really cool dynamic because Caliber has some of the answers, the stance switch, the movement, but Bang Bang is such a specialist in moving into these shorter zones. Watch Bang Bang's feet. It's the hands are conspicuous, right? So they will draw our attention. Look at Caliber.
Doubling up with the feet right there, front kick, and then going to the roundhouse upstairs, partially blocked, but you have to think, like, the bleed through is affecting the brain of EK Bang Bang from those shins. Whoa!
Yeah.
Second knockdown secured for EK Bang Bang. KM Caliber needs to get back in this one in a big way.
Yeah, Bang Bang, I was out for a moment there, guys, but I saw that knockdown, and Bang Bang doing exactly, watch the feet of Bang Bang. Just blur the upper body and watch the feet. Watch how he always floats to remove the gap, remove the space, but he does it on different angles. His front foot is now in line with the back foot.
One potential challenge for Cam Caliber is throwing those kicks in sequences that he does, right? You're throwing 2 roundhouses in a row. That is a lot of opening for EK Bang Bang to sort of come in and push, right? If you're exposing yourself to that degree, heavy hands will connect.
Beckett said he's no longer an EK, his Bang Bang.
Yeah. Bang Bang is on his own against the Kingsman tonight.
Ooh. Caliber has answers, has brief answers, but the time, like, Bang Bang is removing the space, and as far as fighting is concerned, space is time relative to speed, right? The less space you have, the less time the brain has to react, and there, shut him right off. Also, I don't know if you guys see, but I got the Bane frozen solid like this. Beckett, Beckett, do you see that? The Bane is frozen forever. Bane, you were frozen forever in a gift like this.
Man, and
There it
that's
is.
the left hand that we were talking about, Robin. EK Bang Bang. Sorry, no longer EK Bang Bang. It's in my muscle memory now to say it. Just Bang Bang. That's how he pushed forward, was utilizing the left hook, and that's the distance maker, and that was the end of KM Caliber.
Super cool. Super, super cool. We were talking about that. There's so many elements that make Bang Bang unique in the way that he's competing. And we just touched on that. So when you're fighting at distance, there's a particular amount of tools and weapons you use. And when you go push inside, it changes the dynamic of all of them. So your answer when you're facing Bang Bang is either try to make more space, which is very difficult if he's pushed you down, or move on two angles. But when you move on those two angles, his footwork is such that he keeps that gap. And the less space there is, the less time your brain has to react. He's more comfortable in that place, so he keeps it a place where he is good and you are second best.
And talking about comfort, each guy pretty comfortable to throw down with volume. 116 strikes for KM Caliber attempted, 119 for Bang Bang, and 41 landed across all sides. The statistics show that KM Caliber was actually landing a bit more significance, 24 to 16 strikes. KM Caliber was the busier fighter, but 2 knockdowns and 2 stuns. Bang Bang was the one who really just impressed, because it's all about that timing, right? It was the pullbacks. It was the countering ability of Bang Bang, I believe, that ultimately took away the Kingsman's chance. And that's a tough one for the KM camp to deal with. Both guys out right before the finals. KM Caliber knocked away, batted like a small baseball. It's a tough loss to take, Robin.
It is. It is, especially when, like you said, you were the one landing more. It's going to be interesting to watch, to see Bang Bang on other nights. Like today, we're going to see him fight again. I would guess that we'll see a similar approach. I'm curious if he has answers when you have answers to him. When you find a way to counter that footwork or to maintain the gap through lateral or circular movement, does he have a second approach or a third approach? It's going to be interesting. But I mean, we've got Bang Bang right now against Jakey, so we'll get to see if Jakey has been watching these and sees how the dynamic works and looks for those answers. If you're Bang Bang, you expect him to do that, so you should have answers to those answers.
And while currently not within the Elite King camp, formerly EK Bang Bang, right? Taking on EK Jakey. This is a bit of a storyline that we're seeing, Robin. Current camp versus former camp. I mean, this is teammate on teammate action in the finals. Once again, this is a best of 3. So the issue that each combatant will be facing is, yes, stylistically, you can get him once. Can you do it again? That is the question on the mind. Not EK Bang Bang. Bang Bang's approach is going to be a little bit tested here because Jakey has time on his side. Right. He has time to work with the style that Bang Bang is approaching him with, and more than enough opportunities to figure it out. So I'm interested to see now, after all of this fighting today, what Bang Bang can do to mix it up even more.
Yes, true. And you're right. You could actually lose the first contest, but learn enough to win the second 2. The big question is always with somebody who is specialized, and we don't want to say you're a specialist because these artists are all capable of doing many different things, but when you're specialized, you often will have answers to the answers. So there seems to, if you're back in the day, you would say if you're fighting Nick Diaz, you got to target the leg. You're fighting Nate Diaz, use leg kicks. Well, what the fuck? You don't think those guys are in the room thinking these guys are going to try to do leg kicks? What happens is, as you think you have an answer, the athlete goes and prepares an answer to that answer. And even in the third Conor McGregor versus Poirier, I was talking to Mike Brown and to Poirier, and they knew Conor would start to throw calf kicks because they worked on him. You wouldn't just be are you going to kick Conor in the calf more? No, he's going to be prepared to deal with my calf kicks. I'm going to use fake calf kicks to create something else. I'm going to anticipate. You don't plan for who you fought last time. You don't plan for who you just watched. You plan for how that person will anticipate change and change themselves. And that's the issue with how you face Bang Bang. And Bang Bang knows that. He knows you'll try to make adaptations to defeat him. So he will plan, whether it works or not, he will have plans for how to defeat those adaptations. And this is the fucking game. This is why it's so cool.
It's the name of the game. And what you're talking about, right? Countering the counter, knowing the answer to your answer truly is, that's the distinction. Good between great is how well you can deal with those who have answers for your attempts. And the thing about this game, right, is it's all button inputs. It's all muscle memory, doing the XA, the RB combination. Those are the types of counters that you're going to be working with. So it's almost different from the actual fighting, because it's like that's so unpredictable. But there is a specific fixed set of sequences that you need to initiate in order to throw a jab or a punch in this game. That is not going to change ever. So the answer is, once you have that answer, it's locked and loaded. And Robin, I think we are prepped for the final of this evening. Bang Bang versus EK Genki. Down at 135. This is going to be all action through potentially best of 3. That goes to 4 fights potentially.
Yeah. 9 rounds plus. Who knows?
9 rounds. Who knows? It's too much math for me. It's too much math.
There would be no math. There would be no math.
7 wins to 4. Bang Bang does have the history on his side. It would suggest that he kind of has the edge on EK Jakey, but Akhmedov, EK Jakey, looking to kind of surprise the aggressor in the final tonight.
Again, Bang Bang in the red, which suits him well with his red trunks.
More of a flashy Preton here, displaying the dexterity and flexibility with that kick. That was high. That was a cheerleader move.
Yeah. Expressing his individuality.
EK Jakey in the gray, Bang Bang in the red. Getting us started right here. Good respect shown by both combatants. Elite King versus former Elite King.
Now remember when Bang Bang was facing an orthodox fighter, he would move and slide to the inside foot position. Let's see, now he's to the outside. Watch his feet. See, he's not worried about sliding inside and lining up his own jab. There it is again, but he's eating a few himself.
Lead leg is matched on both sides. Interested to see, to your point, Bang Bang maybe take that right leg and step to the outside to angle that left hook in, would be my guess. But you can see the slip straights of EK Jakey are definitely something that you don't want to mess with. Eats another one right there.
Well, when he slips to the inside, an option rarely talked about. We talk on television as if only everybody's always going to move to the outside. You slip to the inside to line up your straight hand, offer him his rear hand, slip it.
Oh!
That's what we saw.
Point
That's exactly what we saw.
And that, again, it's just everything is unlocked by the pressure. Just pushing forward and creating the violence inside the phone booth. What a joy to watch is Bang Bang.
You know what's interesting too is people start to have down again. People start to have a little success inside, so they stay there. That's part of Bang Bang's game. Make you feel like you can hit them.
And Jakey definitely potentially thinks that, but not doing a ton of hitting. Really just defensively trying to be cognizant. You can see covering up, having the shell work for him. Bit of a pullback right there. That's the thing I want to see. More head movement for EK Jakey. He is 1 knockdown away from dropping the first of 3 potentially. It's not a place you want to be in, Robin.
When we talk about head movement, the best head movement is moving your feet. Your head moves with your feet. So the very best moving and protecting of your target is moving your feet and not being there. And that's what Jakey's starting to do just a little bit. See how he's rotating the camera ever so slightly? That's him moving and pivoting.
You can see right there, the bell was rung on Bang Bang momentarily, stumbled back, but now he's pushing forward once again, throwing punches and bunches, as they say. Just under 90 seconds remain in this first round.
Jakey standing in there. Yeah.
Oh!
Wow. Jakey standing in there and feeling some amount of success is a lulling game. It's a lulling game Bang Bang plays. Is you will hit him. He's not letting you hit him, but part of his style allows you to hit him, lulls you into believing it's okay to stay there, and then big. You're down on the ground, and that's the end of fight number 1.
And you can see exactly your point, the comfort, right? As this fight progressed, he felt like he could stand and trade. That's where those more unorthodox strikes came from, right? The jumping knees that EK Jakey was throwing came courtesy of that comfort, but ultimately the left hand of Bang Bang once again silences a contestant. The first fight goes to Bang Bang. Let's see if EK Jakey can mount a comeback.
This Bang Bang has been the most interesting fighter to me of the event of the night, not just because of the pressure, but the sophistication in it. Right?
Yeah.
There's so much subtlety, and people don't think that when you would see Jose Aldo and Renan Barão in the early days when they were both champions, the pressure fighters moving forward, always smashing forward. But it's the subtlety and the sophistication within the pressure that makes these fighters so good. Just moving forward isn't gonna win you nothing. It's gonna get you knocked out. It's the skill within it.
And especially at this level, right? The grandest of stages for UFC esports competition, Bang Bang just impressing. And what's interesting about these tournaments and obviously other events outside of the numbered cards is you can still make a splash in a big way to the people that are competing on the numbered cards. Everyone's looking at Bang Bang right now and going, boy, I hope I don't get matched up with him on ESFL 123 or 124 because that guy is a problem.
Yes, and it's fascinating, and I'm sure at these levels with these fighters and these teams, they're starting to very much learn about each other. The issue starts to be that, okay, I'm going to face this guy. I saw him in this tournament. I've watched a number of his fights. If you start thinking about these athletes as fixed quantities, you're making a mistake because he's just a human. Humans can change. Humans do change, and humans decide to change when you think you know what they are. If you, my opponent, believe you understand something about me, I will make you think that thing is true, and then I will exploit that belief. And so that becomes available in the future. Whenever we see on TV and guys in suits are sitting at desks and they say, well, against this guy, I want to use this, this, and this. And against him, make sure you use the long, all horseshit. That's all just television propaganda. Humans change. They are not fixed quantities, and we must examine them as such. And that's what's so fascinating about a fighter like this. Tonight, this is who they are. This is an aspect of who they are. But in the future, by the future, I mean, in these two contests, Bang Bang could fight a completely different way right now, if he so choose.
And the thing about humanity, Robin, that we know and love is people can rise to the occasion. They can mount comebacks for the ages. EK Jakey, the back is against the wall. Let's see how he rallies against one of the greatest to do it. Bang Bang down at 135. This could be the end of the Muay Thai 80X tournament right here, right now.
We alluded to this earlier, too. You can learn enough in your first loss to win the next two. And if you're Jakey, you just take a deep breath and you start fresh. You allow that to wash off and you start fresh with the new knowledge you've acquired.
And that is the beauty of a best of three, right? Again, you can drop that first one. It really does not mean it's an end-all, be-all type equation. You can come back. You can take that moment and say, okay, I learned. I didn't lose. I have a chance now to punch my ticket back into this one. Bang, bang, once again, showing the flexibility. I got to see this guy in pom-poms, Robin.
That one was the Boss Rutan special. Shout out to my friend Boss Rutan. I work with him in Karate Combat. Genius.
Oh, once again, all action early from Bang Bang. Wow.
So we just saw Jakey retreating just a little bit. Retreating and throwing, not such a bad strategy here, especially when you have space between you and the ropes. Back up, throw the uppercut. Back up, throw the rear shot.
Oh!
But they're back up and eat the uppercut.
Controlled car crash is what I would call the striking acumen of Bang Bang. Truly elite and just carnage when he lands. You can see the gears working for EK Jakey, right? He's shelling up, blocking, and trying to counter, trying to throw, trying to return, but you just can't against a guy like Bang Bang. But lands one right there. Oh!
Tried to flying knee again, tried to jump rear knee again, and that's when he got banged.
You go big or you go home, Robin. That's just the name of the game at the end of the day.
Retreating with the knee, that's a better choice. Retreating with the punch, retreating with the knee. Having a little success there now.
Take right there inside the pocket for EK Jakey. Love the mix-up, right? Going to the midsection, attacking the cardiovascular system seems to be a potential answer that we haven't seen explored against Bang Bang yet.
Yes, now tucks it underneath the armpit. Also retreat, a pullback elbow. We've seen a retreat knee, retreat punch. Oh, and there's another uppercut. Is that two knockdowns now?
This is where things get interesting. EK Jakey has one knockdown left before he is out of this tournament. Bang Bang has looked like a world breaker. That is it! That is it! And he follows down! Wow!
That is good night.
BK Jakey chin, the iron chin, and there it goes. The patented left hand ends the evening. Bang Bang takes it to his former teammate and comes out on top. What a story for the ages was Bang Bang's rise through this 8OX tournament, Robin.
Super, super cool. You know, to see sort of that much, there's a lot of personality and there's a real combat identity within this particular athlete. The neurological athlete behind the fighter, and then the fighter that we see here. A combat identity is who you are when you fight. Now, of course, again, we talked about that all night. You can change this. You can become many things. You can reflect many personalities in your fight. But we saw a very specific, very concrete type of fighter tonight, and he rode that and he stayed consistent all the way through the night. And it was a really, really, really wonderful, wonderful tournament for Bang Bang, of course, but for all these athletes.
Oh, what a good time. Always the 8OX events. Everyone's showing up and showing out. Robin Black, it's so good to commentate with you. I know that there's so many things that you got going on outside. Karate combat, different ventures. What would you like to say to the people watching at home? What can we blast out for you?
Yeah, I mean, if people follow my Instagram, I break down humans fighting and frogs fighting and car crashes and anything, any type of combat, I will want to analyze it. But and yeah, karate combat, I'm doing stuff with haymakers and wave and Bellator but I'm Bane. Thank you for inviting me. Really, the reason I'm here this weekend for both these cards was because the Bane invited me, and I wanted to come and be a part of this, and I will again. 100% of you guys will have me because it's different and because it's innovative, and this is a space. These are real fights. These are real fights. This is neurological combat, and this is a space where we can innovate. You know, fighting and the way we discuss it has been ultra commodified, ritualistic. It is, you know, the same thing over and over. We're using antiquated language to talk about modern ideas. And this is a place where innovation happens, ESFL, right here, where we could do this in a different way. And it was everything I would have hoped for. So thank you for inviting me, man.
Oh, we will absolutely have you back. The weekend of Robin Black is concluded, but we'll definitely get around to sometime soon. ESFL 122 on Saturday, September 4th. Be there or you're going to be square. We'll throw it back to the bracket one more time to celebrate the victorious Bang Bang in what was a historic rise to the occasion. 8 men went inside the Kumite arena. Only 1 leaves victorious. Want to give a massive shout out to the boys in the back. Everyone's working so hard to put on these incredible events. Bailey and Bruce Lee Rob yesterday killed it on comms, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Have a great day.
Enjoy the hostilities, my friends.